Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines, more on the TradFi side of things, because that's kind of what I was looking at this morning. We did get an interest rate decision from the Bank of Japan last night, and no rate change on that, and it looks like we saw a little bit of a reversal in that US dollar JPY pair, kind of keeping things afloat for now on that carry trade from happening. So we'll dive into that one and a few other headlines kind of doing on that TradFi side of things. So I have plenty of time for alt requests today, as they are quick reads on those headlines. So go ahead and start dropping those in the chat for me now, and I'll get them added to the list as I see them. Let's hop over to that stock heat map. We've got Apple sitting down 0.61 from its close yesterday, looking up in the pre-market just a bit, up 2.27. We've got Nvidia sitting down quite a bit from its close, down 3.43 in the pre-market, looking quite nice, up 0.87. We got Berkshire Hathaway sitting quite neutral from its close, up 0.02 in the pre-market, looking up 0.42 so far. We've got Amazon sitting down 1.49 in the pre-market, sitting quite neutral, up 0.2. We've got Eli Lilly in that neutral range as well, down 0.27 from its close, sitting up 0.19 in the morning pre-market so far, so also sitting quite neutral. We've got ExxonMobil quite neutral for its close, down 0.11 in the pre-market, also down in that neutral range though, down 0.16. We've got Tesla sitting down a whopping 5.34%. In the pre-market, looking to take back some of those losses though, up 2.83. We've got P&G sitting down 1.21. In the pre-market, looking quite neutral though, up 0.11. We've got Microsoft sitting down 1.33 in the pre-market, looking all right this morning. It's up 0.23, so sitting quite neutral. We do have Google sitting down at 2.34 from its close yesterday, up 0.26 in the pre-market so far. And we've got Meta sitting down a whopping 3.73, and in the pre-market looking quite neutral, up 0.1. For the crypto side of things, we are looking quite mixed. We do have quite a bit of green numbers on this daily, with Bitcoin up 0.7%. We've got Ethereum up 4.5%. We've got XRP up 2%. We've got BNB down 3% on the daily. We've got Solana up 1.7, Cardano up 1.7 as well. We've got Dogecoin up 0.08. We've got Tron to wrap out that top 10, up 2.8. So looking quite green in that top 10. And as you start to get a little bit outside of that top 10, we do see a little bit of red starting to creep in there on the daily. We do have Chainlink up 2.1. We've got Leo looking quite neutral, up 0.2. We've got TON sitting up 1.6. We've got Stellar Lumens up 3.9. We've got HBAR up 1.6. Avalanche up 8%. We've got Pi Network taking back some of those losses from the other day, up 1.3. We've got Shiba Inu sitting up 0.6, and we've got Sui up 2.2, with Litecoin wrapping out that top 21.6% to the upside. Let's hop over to those fear and greeds. We do have the stock side sitting back at extreme fear. We are still looking a little worrisome on the TradFi side. We do have us sitting in fear, down 2 points from yesterday on the crypto side of things. I have been talking about some key levels, and it looks like we've got one of those key levels as a very, very hot spot on our liquidation heat map for the 24-hour. And this is that $81,000 mark, which is that top side of a CME gap that I've had drawn out for quite a while. Definitely a nice spot for market makers to really drag us down to the downside, especially if we're seeing no rate change from the FOMC. It's not a very bullish thing to see. Could definitely be a quick move to the downside to grab up some of that bottom side liquidity. It is also very hot on that 3-day as well, right to the bottom side of us. Could also see that quick grab to the top side this morning at 84,847, and it ranges all the way up to that 85,100 range that I've talked about us seeing as some resistance and that we need to turn into some support on a higher term time frame. If we zoom this on out to that 2-week, you can kind of see most of that liquidity is residing back to the top side and above our key areas that we want to see turned into some support. I do see some alt requests. So we got Sol and ADA and EOS. So got those on the list. Let's hop over to that economic calendar and kind of talk things out for the morning. We don't have a whole lot coming out this morning besides those mortgage rate applications, which just dropped, looking like a slight increase on that 30-year mortgage rate, which is not too unexpected considering that we've seen inflation increasing. You do see the mortgage rate applications decreasing quite drastically as, the people are saying that maybe now is not the time to buy a house. You also will be seeing some big data coming out here at 10:30 for that crude oil stock information. And the big data on the day is going to be at that 2 o'clock Eastern time frame. That will be our federal interest rate decision, and that's looking like no change. The market has largely priced in no change, so I don't think we see any drastic moves on the macro. You might see that quick shift to the upside or to the downside, depending on how people were pricing that in. But overall, I don't think it is a giant shift of trend. You do have that Fed press conference at 2:30 Eastern time, and I think with whatever verbiage we hear, that will be the bigger market mover instead of the actual interest rate decision. What is the Fed looking for going forward? As the markets have started pricing in an interest rate cut for late summer. So that's something I've been watching on, and I'm sure Piper has been talking about it as well. We will potentially be seeing an interest rate cut late summer. Let's say good morning to the chat. I did see a lot of people in here early. I know I had been starting at 5:30, but we're getting hit with a blizzard here in Nebraska, so I don't have to do anything today. So I was like, let's push the show to 6 and do that 6 to 7 time frame, and hopefully everyone joins in and gets that coffee and is all prepped for the day. We got Uncle Jesse in here. Good morning, Jesse. I see Alexandra G as well. We've got Duality Crypto in here. Good morning to you. We've got Crypto Bedell in here as well. If you guys didn't see the show on Crypto Coin Mindset's channel yesterday, we talked a lot about Bitcoin. So let me drop Crypto Coin Mindset's channel in the chat real quick so y'all can check it out after the show. Crypto Bedell has a great viewpoint on things, and if you haven't followed his channel, you should definitely go do that. We've got Donato Cabrera in the chat. Good morning to you. We got Arsan246 and All Set in here as well. Good morning to both of you. I did see another alt request in here. Oh, I see Moonbags as well. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's drop that in the chat. And I saw Vet requested as well. Can definitely take a look at that. Let's hop into this Bitcoin chart. We do see this 4 hour looking quite nice for a break to the upside if we can have some money flow coming in here. We are sitting right at a neutral range with money flow being ready to come back in here. We will probably need to break that 85-200 range to really see that bullish price action with money flow coming in quite strong. As you do see, the volume was green as we have been trying to maintain this level above our CME gap and waiting for us to break this key level to the top side. You see that money flow slowing up on that selling pressure here on the 4 hour and that volume slowing down on the buying volume. So waiting for some of this shorter term time frame to really bleed over into our higher term time frame. As of now, we have been maintaining this range quite nicely, and it's a lot of sideways movement. I would expect that to continue unless you see something really positive coming out data wise. We got Philadelphia Dawn. When is the meeting starting? FOMC meeting will be at 2 Eastern, and the Fed Jerome Powell speech afterwards will be at 2:30 Eastern time. So I think that 2:30 Eastern time will really move markets just a little bit more as he lets people know what he's looking for going forward. As you can see here, our MACD line is at that point where we're crossing that indicator line. We are starting to print a first very light green candle here as we're waiting on this money flow to really come on in. If you zoom this on in to that 1 hour, you can kind of see we're at a point where we're waiting for either money flow to come in or money flow to come out. We're sitting right at this very neutral range here on our prime oscillator with money flow. You've got your MACD waiting to see if it's going to curve back to the downside or if it's going to continue to the upside here. Your volume's looking quite nice here on that 1 hour, but your prime oscillator is switching from green to red here as we are getting a little bit of curvature. Your true 7 has not clipped out yet, so could definitely continue to the upside with a little more strength if you see that money flow continue to come in here on that 1 hour. That's what we're waiting to see if it bleeds over into that 4 hour and continue things to the upside. You have that liquidity, which is sitting right to the top side of us at a key level of resistance, and that's at 85,250 that we've been looking to really turn into some support here. It has been our resistance over and over in this range. We got that nice strong wicked off of it here, and then we've failed to get back up to it. We are looking to get back up to that today and really grab that liquidity that was sitting to the top side of us. If you do see strong money flow coming in here with that 15-minute and that 1 hour starting to bleed over into that 4 hour, you do have that range above us with 87,720 being that 382 to the top side. That'd be that next strong area of resistance I would look at if you're able to get to the top side of 85,250 and turn it into some support. If not, I would look for a rejection and that sweep of liquidity to the downside, which is sitting down here at that 81,000 mark and that 50% fib, which we've left open there. So there's a lot of liquidity to the bottom side, but it looks like we're going to grab that top side liquidity first. You do have that 15-minute and the morning looking quite indecisive as well. The markets are waiting on some FOMC data, but that doesn't mean that they might not manipulate things. In the meantime, you have your MACD and your indicator line moving quite sideways here together as you get your MACD line breaking the indicator line to the top side and then to the downside and then to the top side over and over and over again. It's printing very, very small candles here on this oscillator, and we're just waiting for some money flow to kind of send things in either direction. Looking very green on that money flow for now, as your volume is starting to slow down quite a bit. Could definitely see a quick grab of that top side liquidity here this morning as your prime oscillator has switched back from red to green and is curving back to the upside as we try to get that push back up towards that liquidity. All right, I did have a few articles I wanted to touch on. I did see Sol, ADA, EOS, and VET requested. If there's any other alt request, go ahead and drop those in the chat for me. The Dusty Hunt saying, just give it to me straight. Biddy up or down today? Well, I'm thinking up for the morning and then down for the day. That's just my overall look, as we do have a lot of liquidity still sitting to the bottom side of us, and we've got a lot of liquidity right here that we can grab at 85,250. I'm just looking at continued ranging for now as we wait on some of those higher term time frames to really cool off. That weekly chart has been what I've been waiting for to really go back to the upside on. As you can kind of see here, your prime oscillators starting to get to that point where you could see some reversal signals start flashing, and that's why I've just been looking at ranging for now. And that's kind of what we've been doing for the past week. So a lot of ranging and more ranging is in Bitcoin's future, unless we can see something overwhelmingly bullish heading not just towards crypto's way, but towards the markets in general, because you have been seeing a lot of downside on the markets. As you saw, the stock market closed in the red yesterday and is looking quite neutral in its open so far. We got that US dollar and JPY pair, yen steady near $152 as Bank of Japan keeps interest rates unchanged. I had teased this back when they decided they were going to change their rate policy, which they'd been looking at hiking one after another, and then as soon as Trump got into office, they kind of did an about face on that, and they were like, you know what, let's just hold it for now, and that's exactly what we got. We got the yen stable near 149.60. The US dollar JPY pair was calm and collected Wednesday morning after the Bank of Japan moved in line with market expectations and didn't do any tweaks to borrowing costs. No surprise, interest rate hikes was welcome news to the risk-averse traders. The global outlook for growth is uncertain enough to fuel more economic jitters by a rate hike. The yen slipped to 149.6 from opening level of 150.01 for the dollar, as yen bulls were seeking to stir up the momentum and break the dollar's upswing. The buck is riding on a 4-day of gains in a row. Trump's tariffs inject uncertainty. Japan's economy has recovered moderately, although some weakness has been seen in part. The Bank of Japan's officials said in a statement they flagged high uncertainties surrounding Japan's economic activity and price, including the evolving situation regarding trade and domestic firm wage and price setting behavior. That's all tied to Donald Trump's hostile game of tariffs. The Bank of Japan is preparing for impact from reciprocal tariffs, but also sector-specific duties that Trump has vowed to roll out on April 2nd. The federal interest rate decision ahead, the Japan's interest rate hold intended to allow more breathing room to the economy and help businesses and consumers borrow more cheaply, comes hours before the Federal Reserve update of its own policy. Jay Powell and his clique of central bankers are expected to hold benchmark interest rates unchanged today. And the market has widely priced that in. Let's take a look at that US dollar JPY pair. I have been talking about that quite a bit here. Yep, I'm still sound a bit sick, Jay Violet. I was hoping some more sleep would really set things right, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer. I don't know what I got hit with, but it has kept me under the weather quite a bit longer than I was expecting. It's also thrown off my mental focus, so I'm not as clear-headed as I usually am. We're looking at us to kind of maintain this 50% line on this US dollar JPY pair. This daily looking for some upside here as you are seeing some of that sell off starting to slow up, get a bit of some curvature to the upside. Your selling volume is starting to pick up though, so looking for a switch in that momentum. You are seeing us kind of looking like you've got a nice move to the upside here where we've got a key level of resistance right above us, and that's going to be that 151.39 that I was looking at from before. We did lose that, try to reclaim that on the way to the downside. We got a nice bounce off of that golden pocket, which is quite bullish, especially since anything below this was where you had seen that that Japan carry trade go into effect last time. So back here in August is where you saw that Japan carry trade come into effect, and that was below that golden pocket on our fib retracement. That's kind of a level I was looking at us hold, because anything below that would really kind of send some money from those US markets back into those Japan markets, because their dollar would be very, very strong against our dollar, and at probably levels that you wouldn't see all over again for quite a while. So they would want to take advantage of that, looking to maintain that 50% at least, if not looking for some more downside back below that golden pocket. We'll kind of have to see if we can break trend here, make a higher high. That's that kind of move I'd be looking for. Federal interest rate decision being held steady here could kind of send things in a more positive direction, as they also had no change on theirs, looking to kind of maintain this range here between the 50 and the 382. All right, let's hop over to that next article, which touches on Tesla. You know, it was down 5% on its close, and looking to really continue its downtrend here. I've been watching Tesla for quite a while, waiting for some buying ranges, and you know, I think we're starting to get a bit close here. We have Tesla stock gives back 52% to trade at levels last seen in September. The Tesla stock has tumbled 5.3% on Tuesday, bringing its March losses to a staggering 23%. The American brand closed the Monday session lower by 4.8% as the stock was coming off an 8-week losing streak, its longest on record. The fresh drop has erased 52% in just 2 months, and the shares are now back where they were in September. What's driving Tesla to the ground? Rival companies are making super fast progress towards better products and services for the EV sector. BYD, the Chinese EV giant, unveiled a 5-minute charger on Monday, beating Tesla by a wide margin. Zeekr rolls out a free self-driving on Tuesday. Another rival from the East, Zeekr, said it's pushing out an advanced driver-assisted technology for free. The system is an alternative to Tesla's full self-driving and will first be released to local customers in China by April. Zeekr plans to open it to the public if tests are successful. Right now, it's in a period of development, and I think subscriptions aren't that meaningful, Zeekr CEO Andy An said in an interview on Friday. Zeekr was founded in 2021 by Volvo-owned Geely and went public in May 2024. Bearish hedge funds turn a profit back to Tesla. The Elon Musk-led company has been solely responsible for enriching the bears out there. Hedge funds who hold short positions are sitting on more than $16 billion in profit. Musk, on the other end, has lost a whopping $180 billion from the time Tesla shares hit a record in mid-December. Musk's political disruptions as Donald Trump's right-hand man and analysts say are proving to be detrimental to his car company's brand. His aggressive far-right stance on an internal and foreign policy issues have raised concerns over his ability to manage the Tesla business. And you can kind of see here, Tesla has been in a massive downtrend. Let me get my trend line pulled back up there. And you can see it's created quite a bit of distance from that, looking to close just a little bit, looking to open just a little bit higher than its close from yesterday, but sitting at just underneath a CME gap that I had talked about wanting to hold as some support. This is below our golden pocket here, and we're looking to try to maintain our platinum pocket at $213. If we do lose that, there is quite a range below us where we could see us bounce at for Tesla, that first being $180. And that's that next little area I was kind of looking at, and I might start actually DCAing into some Tesla on. It has been in quite a downtrend, and I do think it has long-term potential, but right now it has been in that downtrend, and for me, I like to buy when things are kind of in that downtrend, DCA near those bottoms and wait for that reversal of trend. You do see Lucid stock is been in a downtrend as well. It got that nice boost to the upside. Lucid is a competitor to Tesla. I'm not saying that now is a time to buy Lucid. I haven't done a whole lot of deep diving into the company, but it did pop 9% on its earnings from the other day. Shares advanced to $235 apiece after Morgan Stanley analysts shifted the luxury car maker's rating to equal weight from underweight. Lucid shares rise 9%. Lucid stock popped 9% to $235 on Tuesday after Morgan Stanley analysts expressed some bullish sentiment over its growth prospects. The banking giant upgraded its stance on Lucid to equal weight from underweight, the equivalent of hold from the equivalent of sell. The investors firm's analysts didn't change their target price of $3, but said that the artificial intelligence can turn out to be a nice bullish case for the luxury EV maker. Lucid has the opportunity to execute an AI strategy, leveraging strategic and sovereign partnerships with the context of the urgency to develop onshore manufacturing capacity. And I was taking a look at Lucid, we're sitting at right below a CME gap as well. Got that nice rejection off of the midline, and if you zoom this on out here, it's not overwhelmingly beautiful for Lucid as it is in a massive downtrend, but buying when things are normally to the downside. If you think over the long term they show some bullishness, is definitely where you want to buy. It's at lower levels than it's ever really been. So looking for an equal bottom there and trying to push back up into that CME gap that it created on the way down there. Zooming that back out to the daily. You can kind of see here, we just flipped that prime oscillator to the green, and you've got that MACD crossing our indicator line to the top side and starting to print our first green candles here. Looking for money flow to kind of start coming back in. Your volume is holding quite steady in some low selling pressure, so waiting to kind of see if that earnings can really push things back up and break these equal highs to the top side at about 364. Looking for that push back to the upside on Lucid. We will kind of have to see how that plays out, but it is in quite a downtrend, just like Tesla is. Just saw a nice little boost off of earnings. All right, I was taking a look at gold the other day, as I had talked about seeing us at that 1618 and $3,036. We have broken above that, looking for that next little bouncing range, and it looks like we're heading back to the upside. You do have this 1 hour getting that curvature back to the top side on our MACD, as we are below that indicator line, printing some red candles here. But looking for that money flow to continue to come in. We did get a reversal signal here on our prime oscillator and have switched from red back to light red here, as our volume is starting to look a little bit red. Could really see that continue to the upside though, with that 15-minute chart looking quite nice here. You are starting to see that volume starting to pick back up as some buying volume, and your money flow is coming back in here on the 15-minute, waiting for that to really bleed over into that 1 hour chart and maintain this 1618 there. Once you start breaking above that, I will draw a new Fibonacci extension. That way we can kind of see what those next levels we'd be looking at on gold are. Let's get a horizontal ray drawn out at our equal bottoms here. We do have that price wanting to hold at that 3,024, where we've got some strong bounces. That's that kind of bottom side that we would need to maintain. If we do break below that, it would be a bit of a downtrend, probably down back to that 3,000 and about $15, where we see a lot of selling pressure to the downside and some buying pressure to the upside. A bit of an order block in this range here. All right, let's hop over to some of those alt requests. We had Solana, ADA, EOS, and VET. I see someone asked about ETH. We can take a look at that as well. Let's get that one added to the list. All right, let me take a drink of coffee real quick. Let's see, what was that question on ETH? Hi, why ETH pump? Well, ETH pump because people are buying. But I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that ETH chart today. So let's hop over to Ethereum and take a look at that. We've got ETH back above a level I wanted to see us hold as some support. Hype for ETH says Crypto Caveman. We got Buck in the chat. Good morning, Buck. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Looking to close out this fair value gap that we had made on the way to the downside. We were able to maintain that bottom side target that I was looking, that 1,824, which we got a strong bounce off of. We rejected off of that strong resistance area I'd been looking at, that 1,938. And we've gotten to the top side of it with some nice strong money flow. Let's get this on that daily look though. See where we're sitting at for that daily. Getting a cross on our MACD. Let's get over to that demonstration tool. Getting a cross of our MACD on our indicator line. Starting to print some green candles here as well. You've got your money flow still coming on out. So looking for that to kind of switch on our higher term time frames. If our shorter term time frames can really bleed over, if not, you do have a bit of some resistance to the top side at about 2054. That's going to be our 236 on our fib extension here. You do have a fair value gap in this range as well, which the midline of is lining up quite equal with that. Let's get that drawn out for you so you can see it coming from those candle bodies there, going to the candle bodies on that green candle. Let's make that purple because that's what I like to color my fair value gaps as. You can kind of see we rejected right off of the midline of that fair value gap there. So a bit of bullishness for ETH, but looking to try to maintain this fair value gap here. Let's zoom that on in to that 1 hour, see what the day might be bringing our way here. You have some positive money flow, but you're getting to that point where you could start seeing some topping signals here on our prime oscillator if we can't see that money flow continue on these shorter term time frames. Looking for that midline to be turned into some support. That's 2034, and that next level is going to be that top side, that 2054, which is that 236 there. If we can turn both of these into some support, I would look back to the top side of our fair value gap, which is 2143. Watching for that money flow to maintain some bullishness on the shorter term time frames. And as you can see here, our money flow does look quite nice here on that 15-minute. It is increasing, but we are seeing the True 7 start to clip here as you are seeing some overbought signals as well. Prime oscillator getting some curvature back to the downside, but it is maintaining that green color here. MACD's got plenty more room to run here. Just might need to cool off just a little bit, retest some of the midline of this move to the upside at about 1974 and continue to the upside. That would be what I'm looking for on ETH for the morning. We had Solana requested. Let's take a look at Sol. Got Sol maintaining some of those levels I looked at for yesterday. We did reject off of that 126.57, and we have now gotten to the top side of it, looking like we're starting to see some of those overbought signals starting to flash here on the 15-minute. But let's zoom that on out to the 4 hour and see what we're looking for. We've got us breaking our indicator line on the bottom side here on our MACD, printing our first green candle here. We've got our prime oscillator heading back to the top side. It is sitting light red. We've got some divergences starting to stack up here, which could push us back to that 130 range that I've been looking at us to get back to the top side of. We've got money flow looking like it's about to roll back over though, looking to maybe make a higher low here and continue on the way up here on the macro. Let's kind of take a look at that 1 hour, see what we're sitting at. Got us looking like you could really continue to the upside here. If you see some cool down on that 1 hour, would need to be a quick cool down with probably a bounce here in the middle of this green candle around that 127 range and continue up to that 130. This is a bit of a fair value gap. As you can see, we pushed up quite nicely with a giant green candle here, retested the midline of that, looking to potentially do the same thing here, cool off those oscillators just a bit. You've got very, very strong green buying volume here as your money flow has started to slow up on some of that selling pressure. True 7 has not really clipped out here on that 1 hour, and your MACD's breaking above that zero line here. So looking a little bit bullish, waiting for us to get back up to that 130 and see what really happens there. You got your True 7 clipping on that 15-minute, looking for a little bit of some cool off here on that shorter term time frame to see if we can really continue that trend there. You've got a bit of some selling pressure here, starting at that 127.50. So that'd be that area I would potentially look for a bounce if we're going to cool off and continue there. That'd be that short-term time frame bounce I would look at. Let's get that one deleted. There you go. That'd be that first little bouncing range I'd look at if we do cool off just a little bit on that 15-minute. We got ADA requested. Justy saying ADA went up 6% in the past 18 hours. Let's take a look at ADA. Scroll it on down. There we go. Looking like it's above that golden pocket all over again. Let's scroll that down to that 4 hour, see where we're looking at. We do have a bit of some resistance above us at 76 cents. That's going to be a key area we're going to need to get above and turn into some support on our higher term time frames there. You do have that 4 hour looking quite nice for the prime oscillator and your MACD. You got a nice strong break above our indicator line on the MACD, printing a nice big green candle here on your oscillator as well. Looking for some money flow to really come back in, maintaining green volume here on the 4 hour. Looking quite bullish as you're getting above that golden pocket. Would need to really make a higher high here and make another higher low to really give me some bullish sentiment on ADA though. Looking for that 1 hour. Let's see where we're sitting, breaking that zero line on our MACD, moving a little bit sideways here on the prime oscillator though, as your volume is going back and forth from buying volume to selling volume, looking to try to break these equal highs back at 72 cents. That's that area right above us on that 1 hour that we'd really need to get above and turn into some support to get back up to that 76 range. That's going to be that short term either resistance or support area that I would look for ADA. If not, I would look at us coming back down to that golden pocket and try to get a bit of a cool off on that 1 hour and push back to the upside and 76 cents. Let's see what that 15-minute and the morning are bringing our way. Just like some of those others, we are seeing some overbought signals starting to flash here. Your True 7 still got some room to run to the upside though. Your volume is looking quite the same as that 1 hour, where it is switching back and forth from some buying volume to some selling volume. So really needing that money flow to come in with some strength here. It is looking like that 72 cents is some short-term resistance, so might need to cool those oscillators off just a bit to see that money flow start coming back in. I would look for a retest of about 72 cents to really see us find a bit of some cool off here on that short-term time frame to continue back to the upside on. Might see this drop as low as 71.35 on ADA. There's a bit of an order block here in this range, as you can kind of see. Zoom that on in just a little bit. You can kind of see there's a bit of an order block here at that 71.15 range, looking to get above that 72 cent range. All right, there was ADA. We had EOS requested as well. I know that's not on my list, so EOS, I'm not sure. Let's take a look at it on Coinbase. Getting a nice move to the upside on that 15 minute. Let's zoom that on out to a higher term time frame. Get some levels drawn out. Looking like some whipsaw action on EOS. It is looking like it could potentially break a trend here. We did make a higher low there, or a higher high there, looking to make a higher low, as this one is slightly higher than this low over here for the macro. This is a bit of a downtrend here. Let's see what we're looking at on a fib. If that was the bottom, let's pull from the top to the bottom there. See where we're sitting. Looking like we've got some resistance at 69 cents. That's that 236 of that range there. Zoom that on in just a bit. Take a look at that 4 hour. You do have that daily looking like it's breaking to the top side of our indicator line. Your prime oscillator getting that move to the upside. True 7 starting to get a bit green here as your money flows starting to look back towards the positive, and your volume is going from red to green there. So zooming in on that 4 hour, looking like it's a little bit toppy here. Might get a touch back down here at our lower levels. 51 cents would be an area to look for a bounce. If we continue that rejection, we've got that being a bouncing level from both the top and the bottom there. So looking for maybe a bounce at that 51 cents to continue back up to that 236 and 69 cents there. 4 hour looking a little bit toppy, but the prime oscillator is still green. True 7 is starting to clip out though, and your money flow is getting a bit of some rollover. Let's see what that 15 minute and the morning might be bringing our way. Looking like it is trying to cool off these oscillators here. Money flow trying to maintain that buying volume here. Has slowed down just a bit. Your volume is starting to slow up on some of that selling volume as your prime oscillator is green, getting that curvature back to the bottom side. MACD sitting at a very indecisive point as your MACD line is moving quite sideways with that indicator line, waiting for that money flow to really decide which direction it's going to send things. I would look at that bounce at 51.39 to see us try to push back up. You do have a bit of an order block here at 55 cents as well. So that'd be that first little area I'd look for here, which we're right above. If you can maintain that as some support, look for a bounce there. If you are unable to maintain that order block as some support, look it down here to that 51 cent range for a stronger cool off on those oscillators and a pushback to the upside. That was EOS for you. Let's take a look at VET. I know that is on my favorites list. Let's scroll it on down. I know it's here somewhere. VET. There it is. Been a while since I've taken a look at VET. Getting some strong pushes to the upside here on that 15 minute. Let's zoom it on out to that 4 hour. Looking like we've got a bit of a resistance area to the top side, an area I wanted to see us turn into some support on the way down. It looks like we've now turned that 0.2336 into some strong support here. That was a level I've had drawn all the way from back here where we saw some strong resistance and strong support. Might have to zoom that out even further. I know it was coming from all the way at the beginning. You can kind of see we got some key areas here to the bottom side, looking like we're trying to maintain this Fibonacci retracement here though. So not getting all the way back down to those zero lines that I had pulled the fib retracement from. Looking quite nice on that daily, as like the other alts I've looking at, we've broken above our indicator line on the top to the top side. We are printing nice green candles here, and your prime oscillator is also heading to the upside and looking quite green. You've got volume looking like it's switching from red to green here as well. So looking to get back to some key levels, just like some of the other alts there. We got that 4 hour maintaining some green volume here. Needing to potentially cool off these oscillators just a bit though. Might see that retouch back at 0.233. You've got a bit of some equal bottoms right above that at 0.24055 that you might look at for that touch as well, depending on how this money flow goes on the shorter term time frames. Let's take a look at that 15-minute, kind of see where we're sitting there. Looking quite toppy here on that 15-minute, but you are maintaining the green of that prime oscillator as you're getting that curvature back to the downside. So might see us retest some of these lower levels here where we do see order blocks showing up here on VET as well. Let's get that pulled up. It's sitting right below the lows there. Let's get it drawn out. 0.25083 would be that level I'd kind of look at for a bounce and continuation to the upside, especially with how that 1 hour was still maintaining some of that green bullishness. You do have your volume slowing up quite nicely on that selling volume, getting that curvature back over MACD and prime oscillator, needing to cool off just a little bit here. Looking like a bit of a cup and handle, but needing to cool off just a bit to really maintain some of that bullishness. We'll kind of have to see what Bitcoin and the morning bring our way. We don't have any heavy data drops until the afternoon, and that's going to be those FOMC minutes, that FOMC rate decision, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking at 2:30. I do think that's going to be the bigger market mover as he lets us know what they're looking at going forward, especially since markets have started to price in a rate cut in late summer. So thank you for everyone that tuned in today. Appreciate every single one of you. It's been a rough week. I finally did an hour show. I've been missing it. It's been kind of rough on the voice, but I appreciate y'all sticking through it all and giving me your support. Make sure to give the rest of the Piper Academy your support as well. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Piper will be teasing that federal interest rate decision. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We also have the Trade Academy with Trade Intuition at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you need some help on the charts and you really need someone to explain the thought processes on things, he does an amazing job at that. Always have some fun in those chats as well. So a great place to have some fun and learn some things. We also have a new show on the Piper Academy with OC. That's going to be in the evenings at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, if I'm not mistaken. If someone has the actual schedule on that and it's not 7 p.m., go ahead and drop that in the chat. But I'm pretty sure that's 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have a Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you didn't check that one out from last night, go ahead, check that one out, give it a like, hit that subscribe button so you're subscribed, and that notification bell for all 4 shows that we have at the Piper Academy. I will see y'all in the Alex O Crypto chats here in just a second. Make sure to drop those graduation caps and let them know that the Piper Academy sent y'all over there. make sure to trade safe, because today might be a little bit volatile with those FOMC rate decision coming out today. But other than that, wake up, because today's going to be a good day.